Hello and welcome. My name is Gabriella Orlando, the Regional Sales Manager here at Image Pros, your imaging equipment source. On behalf of Image Pros and Skanrad Americas, I would like to take the time and thank you all for joining our Skanrad 400 webinar. In this webinar, we'll be hearing from Dave Orlando, who will be speaking on Skanrad Americas and Image Pros and all of our capabilities. Ritesh Kumar, who is our product expert, and he'll be giving a demonstration on the Skanrad 400. And then we'll bring Dave back in to go over room design, shielding plan, and leasing. We've been working side by side with Skanrad Technologies, headquartered in Mysore, India, for many years now, and we've been growing rapidly ever since. We have successfully made our mark in the US CR market, and now, as of last year, we have FDA approval on our full RAD room, which is why we brought you all here today to learn more about Skanrad's innovative X-ray technology. Image Pros is the mass distributor for all Skanrad products across North America, with our reach going into Latin America. My boss, Dave, who plays a dual role as CEO of Skanrad Americas and President of Image Pros, who I'd like to introduce now. Dave, please join us.
Thanks, Gabriella. Hi, again, my name is Dave Orlando, President of Image Pros and CEO of Skanrad Americas. Before we get into the Skanrad presentation, I briefly want to tell you about Image Pros and some of our capabilities. We specialize in all new and refurbished imaging equipment, ranging from C-arms, MRIs, RAD rooms, portables, ultrasounds, imaging tables, patient monitors, and much more. We have 50 plus years combined experience in the industry. We are experts at what we do. We offer turnkey solutions. We take pride in offering peace of mind to our customers. We stand behind everything we sell, no matter what the cost. Customer satisfaction is our #1 priority, which gets me into my partnership with Skanrad. I took over as CEO of Skanrad America in April 1st of 2020. I have never worked with such a great manufacturer who is dedicated in support of the US market as Skanrad. With a workforce of over 500 employees, Skanrad develops all its technology in-house. They have over 80 patents, 4 manufacturing facilities, 2 in India, 2 in Italy. They have over 40 products. I've had the pleasure to visit these facilities and see the technology firsthand, and it's quite impressive. It's been amazing working with such a world-class organization for the past 3 years. At this point, I will turn it back over to Gabriella to get back to the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
I would now like to introduce Ritesh Kumar, who's our product expert. Ritesh, join us.
Thank you, Gabriella, for having me here on this event. Hi, my name is Ritesh Kumar and I serve as the Director of Skanrad Americas. I have been a part of this wonderful organization since 2016. Early on in my career, I played with the role of developing the business in Southeast Asia, Africa and Middle East. I led the teams in Europe and served as the Chief Operating Officer of Skanrad Americas. Once again, Gabriella, thank you for having me here.
Yeah, of course. Now, Ritesh, a lot of people have been asking about the Skanrad 400. Would you mind giving us just a brief overview?
Yes, absolutely. Skanrad 400 is a fantastic product for your RAD room requirement. It's a floor-mounted fixed X-ray system which is really fully packed with the features, some of which are premium, which typically comes with the high-end RAD systems. It's fully integrated, it's a digital system. It provides exceptional image quality. Given its versatility of applications, it can go in a small hospital, in imaging centers, in orthopedic centers, urgent cares, and even with some of the doctors who have a practice of their own. Overall, this serves as a great cost of ownership. We provide exceptional 5-year parts warranty, and that really helps you to have a peace of mind when you have this equipment.
Great overview. So, Ritesh, I know one of Skanrad's core technological strengths are its X-ray generators. Why don't you give us a more in-depth overview of the X-ray generator that goes into the Skanrad?
Yes, of course. Skanrad expertise on its generator technology. There are 2 key technological aspects which differentiates us from the competitors' generator in the market. First, it has an exceptionally low rise time for both the KVs and the MAs. What that means is that the KV and the MA reaches to its stable values really, really fast. We are talking about less than 1 millisecond for the kV, which is like in the microseconds. Second aspect is the ultra high frequency of these generators, which is close to 200 kilohertz. For the competitors, it is close to about 30 to 35,000 hertz. So what that high frequency does is that it provides a constant potential to your X-ray tube, which allows you to generate that good quality X-rays for the whole duration. Think about it in this way, that if the frequency is low, then the voltage drops. When the voltage drops below a particular level, then you don't get that good quality X-ray which you require for your imaging. Coming back in terms of understanding how it benefits us, there are three key advantages. First, it allows you to have good high quality X-rays. Two, it reduces the soft radiation which typically gets absorbed in the environment. And three, both of these aspects put together allow you to have exceptional image quality which you enjoy while providing the patient care.
Great points, Ritesh. Great points.
Gabriel, I just wish to add one more point to it, that in this X-ray, in this rad room, we got the generator actually beneath the table or inside the table. What it does is that it reduces the footprints of the rad room. Typically in your competitors' products, you would see generators sitting outside in the room. That takes more space. And secondly, that you have the high voltage cables running around in the room, which creates the safety hazard. With this X-ray system, you have the generator inside the table, and then the conduits which run to the tube head, that doesn't really have the high tension cables, making it a safer environment.
Great. Yeah, no, that's a big plus for our doctors. They love the fact that it's super compact inside the table. No trip hazards, no safety hazards. You're in the clear. So while we're on the topic of the generator, why don't we touch a little bit on the tube head technology?
Yes, of course. So this works as a monoblock tube head. What that means is that between the generator and the tube head, you do not have the high tension cables or conduits. So that's again the safety feature which we just talked about. I wish to draw your attention to this console itself, which is one of the features typically you find in the high-end generator, high-end tube heads and the rad rooms, that you have the digital console, the touch screen consoles which allow you to have enhanced functionality. In Skanrad's RAD 400, this touch screen allows you to select the anatomy graphically. So you have the anatomy selection and then the menu selection for the procedure. It has an inbuilt radiographic guidance system. So the radiographer doing the procedure, they get the chance to see that how to position the patient, providing additional bit of guidance as they go about doing the cases. Secondly, it has the digital inclinometer. So that means that when you rotate the tube head at a particular angle, it gives you a precise measurement of the angle, and you are not based on generally the analog setups that you have to have the idea about the inclination. It helps you know what is your heat capacity of the tube right here at the tube head. It has the capability to select 2 points of the 3-point techniques. It allows you to even have the parameters adjusted based upon the patient's size. So if it's a smaller patient, you can select it over here on the touch screen. If you have a larger patient, you can have a double guess by selecting icon which reflects the larger patient. All in all, I think it's a fantastic console which provides a lot of flexibility as a user. Just to add about the collimator, this collimator provides the LED lighting of a high lumen. So even in this brightly lit room, you can still have a good clear view of your positioning of the patient, which allows you to have a quicker and a faster patient positioning.
Great. Now, the movements on this system, I know a lot of them are mechanical. Would you kind of demonstrate how that works?
Yes, absolutely. So, Gabriela, one of the key aspects is the motorized movements, which is loved by the customers. In general, traditional rat rooms, you have to drag the entire column, which is sometimes kind of a little bit challenging for the smaller radiographers. In this particular system, it's just basically a click of the button that you can move that entire column right, left, just by the clicks of the buttons. And just to make it safe, more safe for the down movement, you have to utilize both of your thumbs just to ensure that you accidentally do not lower it more than what is required. This is about the movement of the tube head itself. I want to talk about the movement of the table itself. So this is a four-way floating table with the load capacity of about 440 pounds. It is really easy to move. So I have released the brake with a foot switch, and by a couple of fingers I can move it and I can position the patient, which is extremely easy. Thirdly, I wish to touch base upon the chest stand here. So this chest bucky, this is completely counterbalanced. So what that means is that when I actually pull it and I leave it, it remains at that same position. If I have to lift it, I can literally do it with just a push of a finger and it stays there. So the counterbalancing helps, and also that this chest stand goes right till the very bottom of the floor. So if you have a patient on the wheelchair where you have to have a shot for an ankle, you can just have the patient continue to be on the wheelchair, where you can actually bring this all the way down, position the patient and take your shot. Last but not the least, Gabriela, I want to touch upon a unique feature of this rad room. Again, this links to our philosophy of bringing lot of high-end features into this rad. So you can actually rotate the whole column. There is a really simple release. You release it and you can actually rotate the column all the way till 90 degrees, and then it can swing back completely to 180 degrees. The benefit of rotating it all the way around is that if you have a space, you can actually get the patients directly on the stretcher. That is supremely beneficial for the hospitals which have a high throughput and the patients are sometimes sedated. It's hard to move them on the table, but just by the flexibility that you can rotate that entire column, the patient can come on a stretcher and you can just take the shot directly. One more aspect is that as I have left it at this point in time, you can rotate it and bring it all the way down to have a cross-sectional exam on the table with the DR cassette. So all in all, Gabriela, these were some of the aspects about the tube head movement, table movement, column movement, which I wanted to highlight in this demonstration.
Okay, great. Now, what size detectors can you have in this system?
Great point again. So this has the capability to have one wireless detector. You can also have two wireless detectors configuration, and you can have a very highly sorted one wireless, one wired configuration. Why one wired configuration? Because in that case you reduce the chances of the drop hazard. So typically, or most of the users prefer to have a fixed DR panel in the chest bucky. So it's always connected to the wall outlet. You never have to worry about charging it. Also, it is always wired to the network, so you don't have to worry about the Wi-Fi in that particular scenario. You can have these cassettes in the size 14 by 17 or 17 by 17, so that provides you the versatility which we were talking about initially.
Amazing. Amazing. Now, Skanrad makes its own software. Why don't we dive into that and you can show all of its capabilities?
Yes, Skanrad really prides on the software which we have put forward, and it serves two aspects. First, that it's a fantastically well designed software. We will demonstrate it just very shortly. Also, secondly, Gabriela, that it provides the fully integrated experience to the users. When I say fully integrated, I wanted to point out two aspects. First, that the software controls the generator. So when you are having a high throughput of patients coming in and out, you can just set the parameters on the software, and those are automatically pushed on your generator. So you don't have to really come here and worry about doing the parameters again here. Secondly, when you take the shots, the image gets displayed on your console, and then that image can be directly pushed back to the packs. Again, that helps in the it helps to have a more smooth overall workflow for your busy facility. Also, if you are running any work list management software like your HIS or your RIS, then you can have that integration where in the beginning of the day you can have your cases being loaded to the system beforehand, and then when you are having the patients coming in, you can go one by one, select the patient, select the procedures, go ahead, take your shots, and then send it back to the packs, giving you one full experience of a fully integrated software. At this point in time, I can jump into the software and show you some of the specificities and show you the images, the image quality which the system provides. This is the workstation's home page. If you come to this page, it tells you the 4 key tabs at the top, which typically covers most of your workflow related aspects. At the top here on the left is new, which acts as your patient entry page. This comes into the role when you are not using any work list management software and you have to enter the patient's data one by one. Just to demonstrate here, there are actually just 3 fields or 4 fields which are mandatory. You have to enter the name, patient ID, the gender, and the accession number, which is also pre-filled if you're not following any particular format for that. Literally just these 4 fields allow you to have the patient information in, and then you have the anatomy at the center, which you can touch and select or use the mouse cursor to select the anatomy. So in this example, we have selected the chest area, and then it tells you on the right side here at the top a bunch of different procedures or views which have been configured. So you can select the view which you want to take the scan for. So for example, if it is a chest PA, you select the chest PA, and then as soon as you select that, you see a little image which shows you that how to position the patient and also guides you the selection which you have made. Just if you have a patient where you have to take multiple shots, you can go ahead and select the different views which you want to, and all of them come in here. At this point, you can go ahead and hit the exam, and that is then ready to take the exposure. So let me just click here to show how it works. Now at this point in time, you have those three views selected which you eventually want to take the exposures with. At the center, you have the patient information which we keyed in. On the right hand side, again, it gives you an opportunity to select if the patient size is different. So if it's a large patient, you can select the larger patient, and the system automatically tries to provide you the adjusted KVs and the MA's value. The same values gets pushed to the scan rate generator automatically, so you don't have to go and put the value again on the tube head or the console per se, and you can go ahead at this point and take the exposure and gets the image. Once you take the shot, the image shows up here, and you can go ahead and move the image or to process it further. In this demonstration, I'll directly jump onto some of the images which we have already captured. So they sit into the local, where you have these patients for which the scans have already been done, which are there. So I'll go ahead and select the patient. So you select the patient, and you have a list of their exposures taken which show up on the lower part of the screen. So I'll go here, go on the view to pull up the image. So the image quality on the system is phenomenal, which allows you to have a great depth of your great depth of diagnostics to be conducted on these images. There's a bunch of post-processing features which you can leverage. Obviously, you can zoom the images, you can zoom it out, you can annotate it, you can have the measurements, you can flip the images, you can rotate them, and you can have some of the measurements or the cropping, brightness and contrast adjustments and things like that. Once you are done, you can actually push these images to your PACS system. I will come back to the home page just to showcase that how where does that go. So when you hit the send to PACS, it queues up to go to the PACS. Right now you do not see any values here because we have not hooked up any packs and we have not sent any, but this is basically the page which helps you to manage your patients which have been queued up to be sent to your packs. Lastly, I just want to quickly touch base upon the work list management. Most of the facilities right now already have a software which they are using for the patient entry, and the work list management, you can push that information directly to your system, and in that case your patient's list comes over here. You can go ahead and select the patient from here and then go to your scans and do the scans. So this is a very quick overview. If there is a urgent or an emergency case, you can directly just jump onto the emergency and select the type of the procedure you want to do and jump on to take the exposure.
Now, one last question. What is the minimum room requirement for this system?
Yes, absolutely, Gabriel. A lot of the customers are concerned about the room size. Typically, they have a limited amount of space. This fits in really into a 10 by 12 room. And at this point, I wish to call upon Dave here, who can speak more about the room design, layout, and many more things.
Great.
Great. Thanks, Ritesh. Great product presentation. In regards to room design, here at Image Pros, we, as I mentioned earlier in the presentation, we offer turnkey solutions on everything that we sell. So we provide free shielding plans, free CAD design for the room. So in regards to the shielding plan, what we do is we take a drawing of the room, we identify the size of it, what's on each side of each wall, what's above, what's below, and we turn that over to the physicists, and they do something that's called a shielding plan, which determines what size lead you need. If you need to do each wall, maybe you have a wall that's facing outside that doesn't need to be leaded, you'll typically need a lead door or a steel door, typically 1/16 of an inch lead for X-ray. So we provide that service, we submit it to the state, gives you a complete blueprint of what you need for leading. The lead sheets come in 4 feet wide, 7 feet tall. So basically, if the room is, you need it for every 4 feet across the room. We also do what's called a CAD drawing. So we do this for a couple of reasons, mostly for your architects, for your construction people, for your electrical people. We'll specify exactly where the power needs to be run, where the tech wall needs to be put. We'll lay out all the equipment in the room so you can see the workflow, the design, before we commit to putting the equipment into your room permanently. Ritesh, do you want to maybe elaborate on that a little bit?
Yes, thanks Dave. So as you explained, we do the CAD modeling beforehand. That provides a great amount of comfort to the customers because they can exactly see in the room that how is the equipment going to be placed. How are the conduits going to come, how is the wiring going to come, whereas the workstation can fit in, and everything related to the rad room. We go to a great depth in terms of pointing out where the electrical points are needed, where the data ports point are needed, where the routers can go, and that really helps the customer to see all of that beforehand as they go into the construction and eventually have the installation.
Great. Now, a lot of our doctors want to know, how can they purchase this? Like, what are their options?
Great question. So we provide very good leasing programs here at Image Pros. It's important to understand what type of leasing program you're getting into. We offer 0 down, no payments for 3 months, sometimes no payments for 6 months. We can do 7-year terms, 6-year, 5, 4-year terms. All our programs have the option to pay it off early, no prepayment penalty, principal only. That's also very important to understand. A lot of leasing programs, once you get into a rate, you're going to have to pay that rate for the term of the loan, which could cost you a lot of interest if you know, especially if you want to buy it out. Things are going well, you have extra cash, you want to pay it off, you might have to make every payment for the term of the loan. So it's important to understand that. It's important to understand, is it a dollar buyout or is it fair market value lease? Dollar buyout, all our leases are dollar buyouts, which means you own it at the end. If it's a fair market value, that means you may owe 20% of the purchase price or more to own the equipment, so you don't technically own it. With our leasing programs, it does qualify for IRS for 179. That typically equates to between 30 and 35% of the purchase price back into your bottom line when you do your taxes at the end of the year. Again, I think we hit our allotted time. Ritesh, fantastic job. Gabriella, thank you very much. Very good job. Thank you everyone for joining us today. We look forward to working with you in the future. Please visit us at imagepros.com, and until next time, thank you.